Shalom Yasharala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, or Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. A citation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article that came out, I believe, 2 days ago or some, about 2 days ago, right? Dealing with this here Space Force, all right? Which, this is all biblical prophecy coming to pass, whether you know it or not, and, to the normal everyday people, you peons, this is just going forth to show forth that, really only the elect, the 144,000, Revelation 14, Revelation 14 starting from the top, that how Yahweh started Revelation 5, no man was able to open the seals, of the scriptures, basically talking about the breakdowns of all the dark sayings in the scriptures. Nobody was able to understand that. But Yahweh Shah was the only person that was able to understand, to get the breakdowns, right? And then when you go to Revelation 14, said he saw him with the 144,000 and he gave him basically the breakdowns, that new song that nobody else could learn, And the scriptures also say that if our gospel be hid, it's hid to those that are lost. Basically the God of this here world blinded them, all right? And also knowledge shall be increased, but the wicked shall not understand, But nevertheless, going all, saying all that to say this is it's something that kind of takes you back, especially like another precept, blessed are your eyes will see the things that you see, It's really a blessing to be able to be in this here position to see all these things, and sometimes we get a little carried away with, I can speak for myself, getting upset with some of these people, like, how do you not see this? This is like common sense. It's like clear as day, but ultimately, like the scriptures I just quoted, it's not this is not for everybody. Everybody's not going to see this. This here message is only for the elect, only for those that's going to be saved. These are the only people that's going to be able to learn this here song and be on tune with this here beat. Other people, they may know, how you be singing a song or whatever, whatnot, especially like, older people, you know what I'm saying? Like, like me at my age in the 30s and stuff. Like, you listen to the radio all the time, you know all the words to the song. And then, you hear your parents or whatever try singing and they saying all kind of other words. I can think of a song from back in the day. It was this dude named Jaquan had this song called Tipsy. Now everybody in the club getting tipsy, right? You know what I'm saying? I had an aunt who was like, oh, I thought he was saying everybody in the club eating chips, or something like that. But basically that's how these other people are. You have some of these truthers or whatever, whatnot, like, these alternative media sites or whatever, whatnot, or YouTubers and whatever, whatnot. Yeah, they can see like there's an economic collapse coming. Some of these Edomites will tell you, hey, the RFID chip is the mark of the beast or whatever, whatnot. But all in all, they don't have the whole, 100% truth, the 100% breakdowns of all these. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful thing to be able to have these eyes to see these things, because again, at the end all be all, like I said, man, it's a little frustrating. Like, yo, dog, like, let's be serious in a serious note. Let's just speak a little carnal. Not speaking as if we know the truth, but just speaking as if we were in the world still, right? As we were in the world, they used to tell us, like, UFOs, that's fantasy. There ain't no aliens or nothing like that, or all that's just bogus, But then, so if you growing up thinking that, and everything like that, then why the hell you need a Space Force, Then they'll tell you, oh, well, we need to be, which kind of make a little sense. We need to be able to shoot down these satellites because this is how they can use their long range weapons based off of these satellites and GPS systems and so on and so forth. But, well, I mean, you don't really need a huge arsenal to take all that out. It ain't that many satellites up there, you know what I'm saying? Or you could just jam them, But nevertheless, why are they creating a Space Force, Your regular everyday people should be asking this as a normal, sane question. Like, wait a minute. I thought that, UFOs and so-called aliens is fake. What the hell are we spending money on a Space Force for? Ain't shit out there but meteorites. You know what I'm saying? This is what they should be saying. Or like somebody told you that actually unicorns are real. Unicorn just means like one horn, right? You have rhinoceroses and things like that. They got one horn. But mermaids, right? Shit like that, If mermaids ain't real, what the hell, like, why y'all got posting up signs or whatever, whatnot, saying beware the mermaids in the water or whatever, whatnot. Don't feed the mermaids. If you see something like that, you should scratch your head and question, like, wait a minute, I thought this shit was fake anyway. Don't feed the fairies, don't feed the garden gnomes, like, wait, I thought this shit was fake anyway. This is what these people should be asking when you see articles like this, like, why is Donald, like, I can understand if, like, again, not saying that I'm in this here truth, right? I'm just a regular everyday person, right? I can understand if just me, some regular everyday person, say, oh yeah, there's UFOs or whatever, whatnot, and somebody be like, oh, he just talking this shit or whatever, whatnot, But for the president of the United States, all right, to sit here and acknowledge this, the military to acknowledge this, and them to actually be spending billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars on this, you should be scratching your head like, hold up. You see what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't no threat, they wouldn't be really spending no money on this, you know? Just like Bigfoot. You know, they ain't really spending no money trying to find Bigfoot. You see what I'm saying? They don't got the, you know, well, they ain't our military, but, you know, over there, and I believe it's Norway, I think is where they say that's it, but whatever. You know, they're not using their military or whatnot to go try to find Bigfoot, you know, because they don't really take that serious, you know, the Loch Ness Monster, they not really taking that serious to where they spending that kind of money to go try to figure it out, you know? So they're like, it may be a fairy tale. They ain't really that serious about it. So when you see things like this, you should be questioned, like, what the hell? Why we need a Space Force? Why do we need, you know what I'm saying, to have weapons and things like that, a Space Command and so on and so forth, you know? But, hey, nevertheless, you know, like I said, or like the scriptures say, hey, the wicked shall not understand. In dealing with Israel, the rest was blinded, you know? But nevertheless, we're going to jump into this here article from RT. It says, U.S. Space Force conducts first ICBM launch after Moscow warns of a threat of renewal arms race. Now, breaking down this here word ICBM, all right, which stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, all right, and to further break that down, all right, intercontinental means from one continent to another continent, all right? So, basically, you can shoot these here missiles from one continent to another continent, and we're not talking about, like, you know what I'm saying, like, let's just say two continents that are very, you know, close by or whatever, whatnot. No, we ain't talking about that. We talking basically from one end, like the scriptures say, from one end of the earth, even to the other end of the earth. All right. And when you look at it, it's like, yo, basically Russia's at one far extremity and America's at the other far extremity. Or if you look at a map, shit, Russia and Alaska, they're not that far apart, actually. You know what I'm saying? But that's like the far extremities of one end of the globe, and you go all the way around to the other end, you know? But nevertheless, how, you know, just quickly on these here missiles, how these missiles work is, and again, you know, I bring this out quite often, you know, whenever I'm speaking about these things, but, you know, any nation that can send satellites or have a space program, as far as like, you know, have a set like NASA type of things like that, those type of space programs, they have the capability of launching basically nukes on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Intercontinental ballistic missiles, because it's, you know, when you go into these missiles, you know, it's a three-part system, right? You have the warhead, all right? You have how you say the what do you say, the delivery vehicle, you know what I'm saying? It's basically a vehicle that launches it and takes it out there, you know. Then you also have basically like, you know, also the body part as well. But nevertheless, as far as the vehicle portion of it is, this is what's taking it up to space. And let me back up a little bit. So when you look at TV and stuff like that, and you see the so-called astronauts going into outer space, right? And you see the space shuttle, all right, and it's got those rockets and everything like that on the bottom half of it and whatever, whatnot. The same concept, you know, they basically slingshotting the so-called the space shuttle, the thing that kind of looks like an airplane, into outer space. This is why when you see those things go up, you see these the rocket boosters wind up falling off or whatever, whatnot, you know. There's multiple stages. You have the one big huge rocket booster, and then you have two smaller rocket boosters that'll fall off. And then ultimately, once you get up to a certain height, you have, you know, the regular space shuttle itself. It also has rocket boosters that it uses to launch off. All right. But nevertheless, it's the same concept. All right. You know, just imagine that the space shuttle would be equivalent to the warheads. All right. It's like you're trying to maneuver or get the warheads from one point to the other point. So you need that rocket to slingshot it. All right. The same way with the space shuttles. All right. The space shuttle itself is not powerful enough to actually get into outer space. So they use the rockets to slingshot it far enough up there to where they could just pretty much, I'm pretty sure they get damn near all the way up into, like, all right, so we're not going to go too deep on that so-called outer space, but technically it's Earth's, what does it call it? Earth's upper atmosphere. This is where the satellites are at, all right? And up there you actually have an orbit to where, you know, you get up that high, things actually orbit, you know, they pretty much float, but that's not outer space, all right? And then you have like inner space, all right? But outer space is so much further up above. Ain't nobody ever went to outer space before, all right? And damn sure ain't went to the moon, because you got the Van Allen radiation belt, all right? Look that up. And the astronauts will tell you that they ain't never been out there, all right? There's radiation surrounding the globe, the Earth. You know, you can't get out of that, all right? But nevertheless, you know, when you look at that space shuttle, how it's slingshotted up into space, the same way is with these, how they get satellites up there. Basically, they just don't have a space shuttle. You know, they pretty much have a delivery vehicle that launches and shoots the satellites up in the upper Earth's orbit, pretty much when they get into orbit or whatever, whatnot, you know. So Same concept, just when they putting satellites up there, they just take off the space shuttle part and just put a satellite, in a delivery vehicle portion. All right, where the tip of it, they just put the payload, they pretty much just put satellites in there instead of the space shuttle. All right, and then the upgrade from that, they just we're not going to put satellites up there. We'll put this nuclear warhead on the tip of it. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll go up. All right, and then once the warhead comes back down, all right, inside that warhead, it's one big tip. All right, now inside of that lets loose, and it's a bunch of smaller, actually the nuclear missiles are actually inside of that. It's like when you look at the Satan 1 and the Satan 2 missile, which Russia has, all right, I believe one of them, the Satan 1 has I believe it can hold up to maybe 15 warheads or something like that inside of, or 15 missiles inside of the warhead, all right, 15 basically nuclear bombs inside of the one warhead. And the Satan 2 it has a little bit bigger capacity or something like that, And it also has other upgrades, it can maneuver, multiple maneuvers, and they can have decoy warheads, which is, it's just crazy, man. They can have multiple warheads to come down, and you don't know which one is the actual warhead or not. So you trying to defend yourself with your missile defense systems. You done shot off and hit some duds or some blanks. Hey, man, that wasn't the real missile, the real bomb. The real bomb is over here untouched, But nevertheless, not getting too much into the nuclear missiles, but just as a side note, hey, Wernher von Braun, right, which was a Nazi scientist from World War II, right, at the end of World War II, Russia and America basically split all of Germany's stockpile, right, and all their weapons and everything like that. So basically all the way up until Vladimir Putin got in the office, all right, and they started developing these new weapons, all right, according to Ezekiel 38, what they would be doing. Everybody was using, basically America and Russia, they was like the two top as far as with military equipment, right? They were all using basically Hitler's equipment, with drones, rockets, all these different things. You go back to World War II, you can even see this in the movie Red Tails, all right? In World War II, everybody had propeller jets, or propeller airplanes. Nazi Germany was the only people who had jet airplanes at that point in time, all right? Everybody else had free fall bombs that come out of the, at the bottom of airplanes. They just drop them and they free fall. All right, Nazi Germany was the only ones that had basically ballistic missiles or rockets. The V1 rocket, the V2 rocket. You go look up the Blitzkrieg, all right, where they was just basically raining down missiles 24 hours a day over there on Europe. But nevertheless, America and Russia pretty much took all this stockpile and also the scientists. And you had basically what your boy name was. But they give him the credit for this. Oppenheimer and basically what is his name? I don't know if it was Einstein or not, but nevertheless they give them the credit for all this. But really, in reality, they had these weapons prior to, America had these weapons prior to that, but it still came from Nazi Germany because in World War II actually, they had basically rocket launchers that basically was nuclear bombs on a rocket launcher, but they never really couldn't use that shit because you would kill the soldier who launched it, and everybody around you. Your whole platoon would be, pretty much decimated with that. But nevertheless, they wound up using, and this was like atomic warfare, and you seen Little Man, what is it, Fat Boy and Little Man or something like that in Japan. But nevertheless, all these weapons is all the same thing, up until, again, Ezekiel 38 took place when, Russia was starting to prepare themselves, them for these other nations. This is when they started doing upgrading their systems with this hypersonic missile, nuclear power cruise missiles, the Satan 1 and the Satan 2 missile, because again, beforehand, these types of nuclear missiles that you see here, like the Minuteman 3 system, all right, they can't, so they launched this bitch off, right? You can see how it has this arc in the picture. Once you launch it off, first of all, they have systems that can detect a nuclear launch because there's certain chemicals and things that wind up, leaving this here trail and things. So they can pick it up immediately. All right. And then from this here arching way, it's just like a bow and arrow. They can sit there and calculate, all right, the height, the speed, and so on and so forth. And, pretty much see the whole path that it's going to take. You could basically shoot it out of the sky because it's not going to move from that path that it's taken. All right. Now, this is the old system of ICBMs. Russia came out with the Satan 1, what they call the Siramat 1 and the Siramat 2, which NATO dubbed the Satan 1 and the Satan 2. These missiles can pretty much change route, mid-flight. So you can't really lock on to these things, all right? But nevertheless, continuing on in this here article, it says the newly created U.S. Space Force has test-fired the Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile, for the first time as Russia blasted it for lowering the bar on using nuclear weapons. The unarmed land-based missile was launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California shortly after midnight on Wednesday. It was the first such development test since the facility became part of the U.S. Space Force, which was established as an independent military branch in late December. The U.S. previously test-fired a missile of this type in October. So, hey, just, look at all these different nations. Why are all these nations all of a sudden now pouring all this money into their militaries right now? Every nation is, hey, we all know, according to the scriptures, beat your plowshares and your pruning hooks and basically into like spears and things, military weapons. Turn all your agriculture, turn all your production, your manufacturing, all this stuff that you do for the civilian population, all right, and use it for military operations. You got Coca-Cola bottling company that's, they making Coca-Cola for the civilian population is a luxury. But now all of a sudden they're gonna stop making Coca-Cola bottles into what? Those little what do you call them? Canteen bottles that the U.S. military makes. What is that company named? Riddle or something like that, that make the football helmets and everything like that. All right, we're gonna stop making these football helmets because that's a luxury. You know what I'm saying? You don't need this shit to survive, right? We're gonna stop making football helmets, and then we're gonna start making military helmets, bulletproof helmets, and things like that. This was the things that they were gonna start doing. When you look at these things, in Earth, everybody's putting into their military. All right. It says the unarmed land-based missile was launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California shortly after midnight on Wednesday. It was the first such development test since the facility became part. I just read that. It says the Minuteman missiles are a key component of the U.S. land-based nuclear arsenal. The launch was crucial to the work on furthering the testing and evaluation of the ICBM program and many space and range programs to come. 30th Operation Group Commander Colonel Chris Barkham said, all right, now this is pretty much, I'll get to it down here. It says, last August, the U.S. unilaterally left the landmark Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty, INF Treaty with Russia, which banned all land-based missiles with a range up to 3,420 miles and their launchers, all right? Moscow, which also stopped following the treaty after the U.S. abandoned it, heavily criticized Washington's move. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned that discarding the key arms control agreement will trigger an unrestrained arms race. Just 2 weeks after scraping the INF treaty, the U.S. test fired a cruise missile that would have been prohibited by it. All right. Russia pointed out at the time that the test revealed that the Pentagon had actually been long preparing to undermine the agreement by developing banned weapons and systems in secret. Now, dealing with these the way it kind of worked, this is the fact that, now they testing and they weren't supposed to have these long range intercontinental ballistic missiles and whatnot was banned. When in reality, and these Minuteman systems, these, again, America's whole military system, they don't have anything new right now. Again, everything that America's military has is all from Nazi Germany with Hitler. You know what I'm saying? You can look up, just to fact check this, what is that? Operation, what is it called? Operation Norwood or Northwood. I think it's Norwood or Northwood, one of those two. But look that up, all right? And in that, they tell you that they trying to figure something out of how to go up into Cuba or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And one of the ways they was going to do it was by using a military aircraft, painted like a civilian aircraft, pretty much shoot it out of the sky. But this airplane was going to be a drone-operated airplane, all right? So you got 747s with drone capabilities. And also when you look at autopilots and commercial airliners, that's the same shit, man. All right, they've had this technology from way back in the days, man. All right, where the military, even before 9/11, they could, from the ground, basically take over the controls of the airplane and recontrol the whole airplane from the ground base. This is really old technology, all right? But as far as, and they'll tell you this stuff, the military gets all this technology first and foremost before everybody else, all right? So, like the internet was a military component before the civilians got it, all right? That was how they was communicating in the military beforehand. GPS, all right? Damn near everything on your iPhone or these smartphones now, the reason you got an iPhone, first of all right, all the technology in the iPhones and everything like that was developed for these intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's another thing. The military never patents any of their things, all right? All they developments, they don't put patents on these things because they'll allow me, you, him, and her to be able to look at those, the blueprints and the plans and things like that, and they also can use them for other things. Go look up Steve Jobs and with the whole Apple creation and all this stuff. He didn't create anything. In fact, what he did was they was tapped in with the military, just like your boy Mark Zuckerberg, all right, with Facebook. They didn't create none of this stuff, all right? But nevertheless, your boy Steve Jobs, right, he just basically went in with the military, right? And because patents, they didn't have patents on any of these things. He just used the technology and put it in a civilian type of way. And this is going back to like the Apple computers and stuff like that, all right? Not even talking about the iPhones. This is going back to the first Apple computer, all right? You can fact check that too. Look that up where they get all this technology and stuff from. But anyway, the military don't put patents on there because this is what these people use this for. So when you look at your iPhone, you can look up the TED Talk. There's a TED Talk how they break down every component of their phone and what they was originally used for. Like the cameras on your phone and everything like that. All right, the guided systems inside of these missiles. All right, the GPS that was in that. All right, how you have Bluetooth and so on and so forth. How you can, all these different systems is, shit. Just to, point this out, when you go back to what your boy name was, Neil Armstrong, I think his name is, the astronauts and all that. When they so-called went into, they actually, went up in the Earth's upper atmosphere. They, they was orbiting and everything like that, But how you think they was communicating back and forth with them? All right, now they'll tell you that, they was getting the video feed or whatever, whatnot, because they would just drop the reels out of the bottom of the shit, and it would just fall back to the Earth, and they would get it from there. Like, bitch, that's just no, that's not how they did it. They was using radio transmission with that, and you can even see it in some of the footage and everything. They talking to them, communicating with them. Houston, we have a problem. All right, they using the same technology from way back in the days, man. This is old technology. So when you look at America's situation and they military today, this is all really old technology, the Minuteman system and everything like that, man. All right. Hell, look up Russia's dead hand system. All right, what is it, the dead hand or the dead man system? All right, how they don't need nobody over in Russia to be living for them to launch their whole nuclear arsenal on all their allies or all their enemies. You see what I'm saying? Of a threat of an incoming nuclear missile. All right, now they had that since like damn near World War II. All right, or the end of World War II at least. All right, but continuing on, it says just 2 weeks after, going back up to this, the reason they talking about the banning, and they have these long-range missiles, is these cruise missiles and things like that, because, Esau's a little punk. He don't want to get up close and personal and fight you like that. He want to be able to launch smaller missiles like these cruise missiles, lob a bunch of these, thousands of these missiles on your ass from here, so on and so forth, Like when Russia started bombing over there in Syria, bombing ISIS, Russia wasn't really on the ground in Syria like that. They was actually out in the ocean. They was just shooting cruise missiles from their ships. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you don't even see the ship, so you can't even shoot back at us. But all of a sudden, all you know is there's a missile raining down on your ass. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this is what they dealing with. It says just, let me just read this part again. It says Russia pointed out at the time that the test revealed that the Pentagon had actually been long preparing to undermine the agreement by developing banned weapon systems in secret, which that's actually true to a certain extent. Like when you deal with white phosphorus, I believe it's called. They have some of these different weapons and shit like that. It's super dangerous and all of them inhumane. But when you go into like that white phosphorus, I think it's called dragon's breath, right? When you go into that shit, that's horrible, man. All right, because they put like this dust and whatever, whatnot. It's pretty much like you getting sprayed with a fire extinguisher, man. It sucks all the, a fire extinguisher eliminates the fuel of a fire. All right, you have three components. You have oxygen, whatever you burn in or whatever, whatnot, and then some type of fuel source, like a gas or some kind of, like a fuel source, more or less to say, But nevertheless, with a fire extinguisher, what it does is it sucks the oxygen component out of a fire to put a fire out. And now dealing with like this white phosphorus missiles and stuff like that with these bombs, you drop that shit and that shit that comes out of that, it'll suck the damn oxygen right out of you and it make you feel like your lungs is burning and shit, man. You start burning from the inside out. America, they used the over in Iraq, man. When they went and invaded Iraq, they was using depleted uranium bullets. All right, like dog, you can shoot a damn wall. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta hit nobody. You just shoot a wall or whatever, whatnot. Months later, somebody walked past that wall and it's got uranium or radiation, coming from that bullet hole. All right, because they using depleted uranium, nuclear tip bullets. You can look that up too. All right, but continuing on. Well, that was the end of this here article. Let me grab some scriptures real quick. Because, hey, Esau thinking he's slick, man. He think that well, we're going to just get into scriptures. We're going to let the scriptures speak. This is Revelation 12. Revelation 12:7. And there was a war in heaven. All right. Now these Christians stumble over this all the time, where they read this and they think that, the Most High and Satan up in heaven, and they battling back and forth, and Satan kind of prevailed a little bit, and he was prevailing a little bit from his rebellion or whatever, whatnot. He got cast out of heaven, up there where the Most High is at, down here to hell or some shit like that. But clearly they don't understand what they're reading, because when you read in the book of Job, all right, you see it said the sons of God, which are the angels, came forth to see the Most High, and the devil was there with him, and which there ain't no difference between, angels and demons. The only difference is their job title, right? Just like there ain't no difference between a criminal and the police, or a criminal and a judge, right? The only difference is their job title. The judge is putting the criminals behind the bars, or the police is the ones catching the criminals, and the criminals is the ones that's running from the police. But at the end of the day, they all human beings, right? They got to eat, they got to shit, they got to shower. You see what I'm saying? They got families or whatever, whatnot. All they humanly operations all work the same way, all right? They just got two different job titles, the same with angels and demons, right? Angels, you know what I'm saying? They work, for the Most High to so-called bless you and do good or watch over you or whatever, whatnot. And the demons just come, when the Most High send a hit out on your ass, he send the demons out on you, When the Most High wants you to be blessed or whatever, whatnot, or have a hedge around you, he send the angels to protect you, Just like how, hey, you in this here truth, man, the Lord's got that hedge around you. You can see that, especially when we go on the highways and the byways, the police come up. They don't do this no more, but they used to come up against us, but then we would always wind up prevailing. Somebody else would always wind up going in jail or something like that, or the police would just leave us alone. You know what I'm saying? People will come up, try to threaten us, shoot us, kill us, stab us, or whatever, whatnot. But at the end of the day, they just walk down the block, or some other random person may walk up and just knock their ass the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Or shit, I even seen people going up there talking shit to the prophets, and then motherfuckers just have a heart attack and just drop right there in front of their ass, Hey, but that's that hedge that's around them. That's them angels that's protecting them. But then at the same time, when the Most High want to destroy somebody, all right, he sick them damn demons out on their ass. And then the demons come over there and, hey, put you in a bad situation, all right? But nevertheless, what this is talking about here, it says there was a war in heaven. The heaven is talking about is like, okay, there's multiple different heavens. You got like, what, 3 or 4 different heavens, right? So where birds fly, all right, airplanes fly, you hit a baseball into the air, that's one heaven, right? Just the air, up in the air, you hit a baseball up in the air, oh, that's in heaven, right? Then you also have like space, right? That's another heaven, right? Then you also have, like actually where the Most High is at, you know what I'm saying? That's another heaven as well too. But then you also have a heaven like where Esau is at right now. Esau is in heaven right now, all right? This is his kingdom, he's ruling, he's in his heaven. We're in our hell right now, all right? So you have these different heavens, but this here heaven that it's talking about is, again, like where the birds fly and where airplanes fly and so on and so forth, all right? So it says, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, all right? So what this is talking about is basically the devil that is talking about here, all right, or the dragon that is talking about is basically, you read this in Revelation 17, all right? The horde that rideth upon the beast, you know what I'm saying? And also the dragon or whatever, whatnot, with the deadly wound, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, dealing with these different things, this is talking about Esau, Edom, the dragon, the devil. This is what it's talking about right here, all right? Because we'll grab it also in the scriptures as well too. But nevertheless, Esau and his plan, as we read in this article, you can clearly see it's all coming together, man. It's all being made manifest. Esau is planning to fight with the Lord. These high-level Edomites know exactly what the hell is going on. Matter of fact, while I'm right here, I'm going to just read it all the way through, all right? Let me read verse 7 again. There was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, all right? So this is what's talking about when the Lord returns, all right? In the midst of World War III, these heathens, especially these Edomites, going to be fighting with one another in World War III, all right? But nevertheless, in the midst of World War III, when they start shooting these nukes off, the Lord is going to come back, all right? And he's going to deliver his elect, all right? And he's going to start decimating these other nations and taking the crowns off these kings' heads, all right? So, verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Again, now this heaven that is talking about, so verse 7, it says there was a war in heaven, right? Now, the heaven that that's talking about, again, is the sky, like where you see the planes at. Like if you see, the movie Red Tails, right, where they was showcasing the fighter, the fighter pilots or whatever, whatnot. That's a war in heaven, right? That's basically what we're reading here in verse 7. You got, like a dogfight, air-to-air combat, That's what it's talking about in verse 7. Now, verse 8 says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. This heaven is talking about Esau's, like right now we in our hell, but when we get into the kingdom of heaven, that's what it's talking about. Because the kingdom of heaven is not like we gonna die and go up into the sky or whatever, whatnot. Where the Most High is, when everybody dies, they all go to heaven like that. The spirits go back to He that gave them. So everybody goes to that heaven, but then you be put right back into a body to live out on earth, right? But it says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven, because Job 9:24 says the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Genesis chapter 27, I want to say verse 38 and 39, goes into Esau's blessing, all right, where he was going to have the dew of heaven. He was going to have rulership over the earth, all right? So the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He was going to have that dominion, all right? So this is his heaven right now. This is why he's, basically the king of the whole earth, all right? This is his heaven, his rulership right now, all right? But it says, neither was their place found any more in heaven, meaning when Yahushua returns, he's going to take the crowns off the heads of these kings, meaning he's going to uproot them out of their rulership, all right? Take them out of power. This is what it's talking about. It says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Like the scriptures also say, sit in the dust, O Babylon, for there is no throne. Meaning, come up off of that throne, come up off of that dominion. You no longer ruling and reigning on this earth no more, all right? This is now, Yahushua is taking his throne and taking his dominion right now, all right? Here on earth, all right? So, just to showcase here between verse 7 and verse 8, you have two different heavens here, all right? But nevertheless, what we're getting into here is the fact of the matter of Esau is going to come up against the Lord and fight with, Esau and his chariots is going to fight against the Lord and his chariots, all right? So Esau, with his so-called spiritual power, because they got this spiritual power on the left-hand side. They got AI planes. Well, Russia and China do. All right. America's trying to develop theirs, but it ain't working out so well for them. But, they got these AI airplanes and also AI technology. Shit, look at DARPA. All right. And the DARPA robots and the shit that they got, the laser weapons, they got some crazy shit, man. They've been had laser weapons, before, you talk about Donald Trump establishing this here space program, which he didn't establish the space program. He just brought it out. He didn't even bring it out to the open. Space program, and then people will credit Ronald Reagan because basically that's quoted in 2nd Ezra 13, about how they're going to put their differences aside to band together to fight against the Lord or this outside alien threat, all right? But it goes back before that. First it was called the SDI, all right, the Space Defense Initiative, all right? That was way before Ronald Reagan, all right? Then Ronald Reagan came out in the 80s talking about the Star Wars program, all right? And now Donald Trump is calling it the Space Force. All right, so this is actually some old stuff, old technology. They've been working on this from way back in the days, man. So they're planning on using all their technology, they laser weapons, their fighter jets, 5G technology to be able to see, because with this 5G technology, they can pretty much have a 3D mapped out image of the whole earth, man. All right, they can also see, they can also see like DNA and things like that. So they can see, where human beings are, even if they underground, just by picking them up. How you have thermal imaging and stuff like that, where if, let's just say there was a person swimming underwater in the ocean at nighttime, you know what I'm saying? You have thermal vision. You can look under the water and you can see that there's a heat signal coming up. Even though you can't visually see them with your eye, you can see it that way. Same way with DNA. They have these new cameras now that they can see, DNA and things like that. So this is all Esau's basically his technology and things like that going into his spiritual power on the left-hand side, because his blessing was what? The sword, all right? What is the sword going into? All right, a defense mechanism or offensive mechanism, basically a weapon of war. All right, and all of these things that he has, whether it be his satellites, his radars, and all these different things, he's using it for what? For his military might, as his sword. All right, so this is his power, and this is his spiritual power that he's going to be using to try to fight against the Lord, man. All right, but guess what? Hey, and ultimately, it's the Lord that's put this into Esau's mind so he can not to have a fair fight, but that the Lord can, can get a little exercise in or whatever, whatnot, because there ain't gonna be no more judgment like this ever on the earth. And Esau gonna be rounded up and eradicated after 1,000 years of hardcore bondage. But nevertheless, like, this is and after his, when he's rounded up at that point in time, he gonna already have been in slavery for 1,000 years. So it's not like he gonna have his technology to in that time, at that time is, right before he go out. So this is the last time for him in his last hurrah. His kingdom is built up. He got all this here technology, but guess what? The Lord is using this to, hey, we're going to get this as well, Lord willing, said that they was afraid, but they durst fight. Why did they durst fight? You know, why do they still fight? Because the Lord gonna put the spirit on their ass to goddamn bring their ass forth to fight, man. He gonna make their ass fight, man. All right. But continuing on, verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. All right. So look at all these different names they call him. This is the so-called white man that we talking about. All right. The great dragon. All right. You go back to what? Rome. All right. When the Roman Empire, and it wound up falling and being rebirthed. All right. That old serpent, you know, going back to the garden, you know, the serpent that beguiled Eve with the so-called forbidden fruit, all right, which was his philosophies. The same shit is going on today. Look at feminism, but before that was civil rights movement, all right? The civil rights movement and feminism, really, you know, civil rights was like the beginning of it, then the feminism movement came in. That's the exact same shit that happened. Really, the feminist movement is the exact same shit that happened in the Garden of Eden, all right? You know what I'm saying? Because look at the scriptures. Genesis 3:16. Thy desire shall be to thy husband, all right? Talking to the woman, all right? The man is the head of the household, all right? A woman should not usurp authority over the man, all right? But what did the devil come out and tell Eve? Look, you're going to be as gods. What does that word God really mean? A power, all right? So he's telling her to look, you ain't got to sit here and listen to so-and-so and so on and so forth. You ain't got to listen to your husband. You could think for your own self. You could be, you know, and don't be simple talking about you could think for your own self. You know, we talking about a lot deeper than that, you know. But nevertheless, you can make your own decisions. You can do this and do that. You know what's good for you. You know what's going on. You can make your own decisions. The same thing would happen in the feminism movement. Oh, y'all need to go out and get jobs. Y'all need to be free and independent. Get your own money. Get your own resources. Make your own decisions and do so on and so forth. Why are you being oppressed and have to live up under your husband in the household, and he make the income, so you can't really just go out and leave if you want to on your own. Same shit that he did with them. Now with the women. Now look at the so-called black community after that scenario. All right, you have all these children being born out of wedlock. You have all these little monsters running around, and when these monsters start being monsters and attacking people, the first question they ask, where was his father at? Oh, no, wait, don't ask for the father now. You kicked him out the house and was praising this independent woman the whole time. Oh, she's a strong, independent woman. She don't need no man to help take care of them kids. All right? This is the same shit that the damn serpent back in the garden gave to Eve. The same shit, man. All right? There's nothing new under the sun. It says that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. The devil means what? Deceiver, right? Esau got two special powers, all right? And they both swords. One of them is a physical sword, his military arm. The other one is his damn tongue, man. All right, he'll kill you with his tongue, man, his philosophies and his deception, so on and so forth, all right? The word devil just means deceiver. And Satan, which means adversary, all right? Who is our greatest adversary? Who is one nation, forget us, what one nation is the most adverse against the Most High? All right, the only nation that's against the Most High like that is Esau, Edom. Right, because these other nations, they got their own little gods or whatever, whatnot. They, you know, the Most High gave them some shit to worship. You know what I'm saying? They just extras in the movie. The only person that's really coming up against the Most High, you don't have no Arab. I'm gonna use the name Jesus, right? Because that's, you know, they recreated that, right? You don't have no Arab Jesus. You don't have no Chinese Jesus, no African Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You have an Edomite Jesus. You see what I'm saying? Only Esau is the one that's coming against the Most High like that, all right? This is the only one that's adverse to the Most High and his ways and his law, statutes, commandments, all right? So it says, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Now, who's deceiving the whole world? First of all, who is the earth given into the hands of to be able to deceive the whole earth? All right, push out their philosophies, you know, going back to Babylon, you know, all the kings of the earth have drinking the wine of her fornication. Now the nations are mad, you know. They sipping on that Babylon juice, all right? This is how you deceive the whole earth, man, all right? Get this here IMF this IMF loan or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We'll bail you out, whatever. All of a sudden now all your resources is turned over to these Edomites over here in America, man, all right? It says, and he was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. Now, what does it mean by he was cast out into the earth? Because Esau was on his throne in heaven. All right. Meaning, and again, that don't mean like up in the sky or in the spiritual realm or nothing like that. Like you see, hell, I would say Donald Trump or the Rothschilds, but fuck it. Every last one of y'all that can hear this here video can go to the Edomite side of town and go see these damn Edomites. In fact, I just got off of work around seeing I see these Edomites in their heaven every single day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like where I just left, These Edomites live on, like, this neighborhood is nothing but golf courses. Every house got a golf course in their backyard. Every house also have a lake and stuff like that in their backyards. But these people wake up, go out their little back patio or whatever, whatnot, and be on the golf course all day long. Edomites just living it up, man. All right, just chilling. You see what I'm saying? That's their heaven. They ain't got no jobs. They ain't got to worry about nothing. And they driving on Lamborghinis and Maseratis and Rolls Royces, on their big ass yachts and whatever, whatnot, so on and so forth, But nevertheless, this is their heaven. They just chilling and relaxing and acting all cool and all shooting some b-ball outside of a school. You know what I'm saying? And kicking that Fresh Prince. Getting they shine on. This is their heaven right now. All right. But it says, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. All right, the angels are talking about his little agents and everything like that, his higher ups or whatever, his high elites. But guess what? They're being cast into the earth. They're being cast off of their throne. All right, their kingdom is being taken. Now they just could be like these other nations. Like right now, so Esau's on his throne. He's reigning over the whole earth. All these other nations, we all in the earth right now. We just in subjection up under him right now. All right, but soon Esau's going to be cast into the earth, and he's going to be in subjection under, first and foremost, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, King David, the 12, and so on and so forth, the 144,000 and so forth, all right? Children of Israel. Continuing on, verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach, all right? So dealing with all this, hey, this is a side note showing you again when these things are going to take place. These things are taking place. We can go further into it, but we don't have time right now, but go to Joel chapter 2, or is it Joel chapter 3? Joel chapter 3, all right? And go to Joel chapter 3, I believe, verse 1 and 2. Jump down to verse 9, all right? It's letting you know about how the Lord is going to plead with them for his people, all right? And bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, all right? Then gather all the nations, all right, so that he can judge them, all right? Multitudes in the valley of decisions. All right, this is where all these things are going to take place. This is when the Lord, we'll grab it, I keep quoting it, 2nd Ezra 13, how the Lord is going to return in the midst of World War III to basically devour these nations, all right? Take these kings off of their thrones, all right? So here it says, and I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, now is come salvation, all right? And the strength and the kingdom of our power. So this is when the kingdom of heaven is going to come in the midst of World War III. After this here fight, when Esau ultimately tried to fight the Lord and not prevail, all right? Jump down to verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. All right. So basically, you can read this in the book of Daniel about how the saints is going to take the kingdom. All right. The 144,000 in the elect, the 1/3, because of their faith and belief into this here truth. All right. They're going to be, slaughtered for salvation, and they're going to want to be in the first fruits to reign with Yahushua. All right. Verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. All right. So look, the devil know he got but a short time. So this is why, I mentioned this a little earlier, why all these different nations are creating missiles or whatever, whatnot, and so on and so forth, developing these military systems. Because why? Esau know he has but a short time. So he's about to prepare for this ultimate fight. All right. So we're going to go from there to the book of, try to read through this kind of quick. Isaiah 47 and so give me a second. Oh, Salak. This is Isaiah 47 and 3. Oh man. Let me read verse 1 and I'm gonna jump to verse 3 because I just quoted this. All right. Oh man. And I'm gonna read verse 5. Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right. Sit in the dust, going into what? Confusion. All right. Because why? America, especially these Edomites here in America, they got the business. They know what the fuck is going on. They smart. They know how to develop certain things. They know how to beguile people, so on and so forth. All right. But now it says come down, sit in the dust. All right. Getting into that confusion. So right now they're making all kinds of decisions. It's just basically putting them, They hanging themselves basically, you know, with these decisions that they trying to make now. Old virgin daughter of Babylon, dealing with the virgin. America ain't never been touched. America ain't never been invaded by no other countries, and America ain't never seen no outside foreign country come and have wage war on American soil. All right, you have the Pearl Harbor situation, but in the mainland of America, right? And really, the Pearl Harbor thing, that was more or less like a we call it a false flag for them to, you know, be justified to go on that. But nevertheless, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." All right, so this is the daughter of Babylon, not actual Babylon. And you could read through all of this and study the scriptures diligently, and you'll find out, you know, go into history. Babylon wasn't even destroyed. First of all, you know, as far as the Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar and so on and so forth, you know, they basically just went into captivity under the Medo-Persians, right? And in fact, Babylon is in Iraq today, all right? And even Saddam Hussein started, rebuilding a lot of the old ancient stuff, because a lot of that ancient stuff was still over there. Like, there's 2 palaces that's still over there. Like, you can look it up, Saddam Hussein's palaces that go from way back in the days, man. All right? But nevertheless, and that's still there. It wasn't burnt by fire, all right? So, but this Babylon, which is talking about America, the virgin daughter of Babylon, all right? It says, sit on the ground, there's no throne. So as we was just reading how I said, hey, look, man, Yahushua is coming to take these kings up off of their thrones, all right? Right now, Esau's in his heaven, but he's about to be dethroned. This is why I'm saying, sit on the ground, there is no throne. Meaning, hey, you got to come up off of that throne. You ain't the king no more, all right? O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate. So like tender and delicate, all right? Verse, let me jump to 5 first. Sit thou silent and get in the darkness, all right? Going into this here confusion. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called the Lady of Kingdoms. So all the so-called wise and smart things, the advancements that America had and so on and so forth, as you see this infrastructure, the military and so on and so forth, it's all failing and collapsing. The petrodollar, people don't want this American dollars no more. The military, right now, Russia has a more superior military and equipment right now over America, which this is kind of far-fetched, not if you know the scriptures, but because Russia, at the Cold War ended, they pretty much did a real work on Russia economically, all right? The infrastructure was all depleted. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth, to where their military was just pretty much all out of dated and just inoperable, really, like to the extent to where, you know, a fully operational system, they didn't really have the funds to keep developing and so on and so forth, you know? But nevertheless, it says, sit thou silent and get in the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called the Lady of Kingdoms. So this ain't going to be that golden city no more, all right? It's about to get touched, all right? It's not going to be that virgin no more, you know? It's about to actually get ran through, all right? So going back to verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, all right? So the shame of America right now is being uncovered, especially, or these Edomites, but mainly here in America, you know? You're seeing all these things about so-called reparations, what they did to, you know, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, how racist America is, and so on and so forth, you know? The police brutality, the police shooting down Jake, and so on and so forth. All these things is coming out to the light right now on America. You know, America ain't that golden city, that city of opportunity, equal opportunity, fairness, with all this here freedom. All right, this is the best economy, so on and so forth. Why you got all these starving people? Why you got all these problems here? If you got everything is so good, why is everything bad? All right, that leg is being shown. This says verse 3: thy nakedness shall be uncovered, and thy shame shall be seen. So if you can imagine, you know, a woman walking around with a little short mini skirt on or whatever, whatnot. She out there in Chicago, the Windy City, and all of a sudden the wind blow, and you know what I'm saying, the wind blow up her skirt, you know what I'm saying, and all of a sudden you see, you know, them butt cheeks, you know what I'm saying. First thing first, she gonna do, she gonna pull a Marilyn Monroe, you know, when Marilyn Monroe tried to push her little dress down or whatever, whatnot, you know, she was being, you know, she was trying to be sexy with the shit, but you get the visual, you know, when you see a regular woman just doing that, you know, the wind blow, and she tried to push her skirt down real quick, because why? She, you know, how they say, oh, my goodies is showing, I don't need everybody to see that. Or, you know, some random chick or whatever, whatnot, you know, maybe a roommate or whatever, whatnot, she maybe in the shower or whatever, whatnot, you happen to just walk in, and she's like, oh shit, trying to cover herself up, because you don't want to, you know, people don't want to have their nakedness being seen unless they want their nakedness to be seen. Like, you and this woman finna sleep together, y'all, you know, okay, that's cool. But in any other situation, you know, you walk in on somebody in the bathroom or something like that, they immediately try to cover themselves up. Oh shit, you know, same thing here. But the nakedness of America is the so-called private parts of America, the so-called secret, the hidden, the things of America. Like you tell little children, don't let nobody see this spot or this spot. It's only for you and you to know about only. Everybody don't need to be seeing all of this. You don't need to be changing and getting naked in front of everybody. That's only for you to be around, and so on and so forth. Same with America. All the atrocities, the evil, the oppression, and the slavery, and all that. Only they didn't want to show it forth that towards the world, because why? America was supposed to be that golden city, that police of the world, that's the most how you say, most humanitarian type of people. Oh no, we're always out here to be the good. We're the angels of the earth. We just here to help everybody, do good for everybody. But that's not the truth, man. This is the hammer of the whole earth. This is the place where you demolishing the whole planet. You're not helping everybody out, all right? But this is the nakedness being uncovered, all right? This is Esau being exposed, all right? The hidden things of Esau being exposed. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man, all right? So when Yahushua returns, all right, so when Yahushua was on the earth the first time, all right, or all the times he was on the earth, he came as basically as a man, all right? He had to eat, drink, you know what I'm saying? They crucified him on the cross and so on and so forth, But this time when he come back, he gonna come back, how you say, in his celestial body, all right? He gonna come back in his heavenly body, in his great glory, all right? You can roll up to Yahushua and I would say put a bullet in his head, but shit, you can roll up to Yahushua and launch your whole nuclear arsenal on him and hit him dead on. It's not gonna do nothing to him, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, he can just laugh at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll eat that and keep it moving. You see what I'm saying? Like, that was it. Like, shit, I'm gonna put the spirit on y'all ass and give y'all double that shit. Launch it again. Let's see what happens. Maybe it might just, tickle me a little bit, whatever, whatnot. That's how Yahushua finna return in the chariots, man, with the whole host of the angels. It's like he told, what was it, Pontius Pilate? Like, yo, don't you know that I got the power to call, 12 legions to come down here on your ass, bro? If this was my kingdom, my servants will fight, man. All right, but you about to actually see this take place, man. When Yahushua return, he's not gonna come back. Like I said, man, you ain't gonna be able to come back and just sneak up on Yahushua or have your snipers hit him with a headshot or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, try that if you want to. Hit him with a 50 cal, you know what I'm saying, headshot or whatever, whatnot. He might just turn around and be like, what the hell was that? Like that scenario in the scripture, like, who just touched my garment and that virtue left up out of me? Like, what the hell? Is that a mosquito that just bit me or something like that? You know what I mean? It's pretty much what it's going to be like, because he's not going to meet you as a man, like a mortal man, where you can use this technology that you're trying to use against him. All right, we're going to hit him with these hollow point bullets. We're going to hit him with these nuclear missiles. We're going to hit him with this, basically but they got these heat rays or whatever, whatnot, laser weapons. We're going to hit him with all this shit. And we're going to kill him. But no, that's not going to work, bro. You're just wasting your time. Really, ultimately, it's the Most High put the spirit on your ass to develop this, to kind of give you Yahushua a little exercise, a sparring partner, basically. You know what I mean? But it says, I'm going to read it again. It says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. All right? So, hey, man, when Yahushua return, man, he coming to put in that work, man. This is why they developing that space program. This is why they trying to get ready with all the things that's inside of, let me grab this precept real quick, because it's going to say it right here. This is Obadiah 1 and 3. This is Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee. All right, see? The pride of Esau's heart. Oh, yeah, we got this new development. Spending trillions of dollars on our Space Force. We got this, we got that, we got drones. We can see everybody, bro. We can see ants crawling on the ground from outer space, bro. It ain't nothing we can't see, man. The Lord think he finna come back and, man, we got this. Hell, look up UFOs and the military trying to chase down UFOs and see what happens there. They can't catch them, man, at all. And there was that Iranian one, man, that shit was, hey, that was a real spiritual booster, man. They letting off on the damn chariot, and the chariot is just bathing in them bullets like, bitch, you ain't hit me once. I'm just fucking with y'all ass right now because I just wanted to have a little fun. I'm just gonna fuck with you real quick. Hey, man, the pride of your heart has deceived you. You think with all your weapons, your military, NATO and all that, and your bombs, missiles, you think you really finna defeat the Lord, man? All right, and you can read this in Psalms chapter 2. All right, why the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? All right, they think that they finna take on the Lord, man, but the Lord gonna have them in derision. He gonna laugh at their ass, man. Look at these stupid ass niggas, man. What you think you got going on, man? You think you really doing something over there, huh? It's like Mike Tyson in his prime, or Muhammad Ali in his prime. Fuck it, Mike Tyson in his prime, right? But then, he over here knocking people out in the first round. But then you got this little kid that's playing like some Mike Tyson knockout on a video game. You know what I'm saying? He over here, laying people down on the video game. So he think he can really fight. He like, yeah, I done beat Mike Tyson knockout the video game, so I can really go fight him myself. Like, bro, you all 95 pounds. You ain't never had a real fight in your life. You finna go up against Mike Tyson. Bro, what you really think is finna happen? All right? This is the part of your heart that deceives you. You think, like, bro, this the same equivalent. You know, that's like, why would this little kid who think he can beat, he went on a video game, that's a video game, bro. You pressing buttons. Homeboy will swing with you with a small jab and knock you out. Same way with your Howard shot, man. All right? Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. All right, going back into what? Caucasians. All right, that's what Caucasian mean. All right, there's a mountain range out there on the border of the country Georgia, over there, basically in Russia. All right, and when you look at, all right, look up a map of Georgia, right? And the divide between Georgia and Russia. All right, there's a mountain range there called the Caucasus Mountains. All right, and this is where Esau was staying up for a point in time. You know, that's not necessarily, you know, he actually dwelt in Mount Seir or Petra. You can look that up on YouTube or on Google. You know, Petra, Mount Petra. All right, that was, you know, Mount Seir basically where he dwelt at. And you can look at the carvings on that. It looked just like the front of the White House and all the governmental buildings and shit. It's the same carving, same picture. Everything's the same, man. All right, this is how you know who these damn Edomites are. All right, but nevertheless, dealing with I was talking about the Caucasus Mountains. This is where you get the name Caucasians from. All right, that's what the word Caucasian mean. Basically, cavemen. All right, Caucasus, the Caucasus Mountains. All right, they was living in the caves, and basically the ends at the end, Caucasians, talking about people of the caves, cavemen. That's the only people who really lived in caves like that. All right, but it says, the pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. All right, now who likes living with all the concrete and remind him of the stones? Where we live now, all the places in the world, you got all these concrete ass roads everywhere, concrete everywhere. Major cities like New York, very rarely see any grass out there, very rarely see any trees out there. All these concrete skyscrapers and brick buildings and everything like that. You know, reminding Esau living up in these high ass mountains, looking down on everybody else, man. All right. It says, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? This is the pride of him saying, look, who can defeat the American military? Who going to take us out of power? Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, all right? And you go look at the back of the dollar bill, and really a lot of these Edomite shit, starting with, what your boy name was? Alexander the Greek, right? Starting with him, you got Alexander the Greek, you had Adolf Hitler, hell, these, America, what was it? I want to say Britain as well, too. Look up the MI6 logo where you see this. What they'll tell you is a two-headed phoenix, but it was really the eagle, all right? It's the same thing. It was basically as Adolf Hitler's logo back in the days, which is the same logo as what the Americans use. Same thing, all right? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, all right? The bird of prey. That goes, it's a lot deeper than that. It's the bird of prey. This bird flies up. It's the highest flying bird, and he looks down, all right? It's pretty much the top predator in that food chain, all right? And he can see from a long distance. He can see a damn mouse, you know, 2 miles up in the air. A little small mouse just swoop down on his ass real quick, you know. Verse 5. Oh, no, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, this will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. So, hey, he putting his weaponry up into what? To space, basically, you know. But the Lord say, look, thence will I bring thee down. Yeah, you trying to put your shit up there or whatever, whatnot. You also going to try to hide up there, but the Lord going to bring you down from up there. You ain't safe in space. All right. Yeah, I'm going to cut that. We're not going to read no more in there. Real quick, about to close out. I don't know where, not sure where this is at. Oh, there it is anyway. Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? This here Lucifer, you know, is just going into what? The enlightened one. Just like you know of the Illuminati. This is talking about these Edomites. All right? Hey, the pride of thy heart, you know what I'm saying, has deceived thee. Thou that, you know, you think you're going to go on forever. But look, you know, the question is going to be asked, how is America taking out power? How are these Edomites taking out of power after all the dominion and the stronghold they have on the whole earth, they military and so on and so forth, man? Nobody can really match them. You know, especially like if America and Russia got their shit together with each other, like, yo, as far as nations wise, you know, nation against nation, like Edomites versus Ammonites and so on and so forth, nobody would be able to touch the Edomites because why? They blessed under the sword. All right. This is how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Yeah, over here in America. Hey, he's going to exalt his throne above the stars of the Most High. And it also says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. All right, so look, he's talking about going into space. He's going to be like the Most High. Verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. All right, so look, even though you're going to try to mount up, you're going to be brought back down. All right. Jeremiah 51 and 53, though Babylon should mount up to heaven, all right, again, going up with a space program, and though she should fortify the heights of her strength, yet from me shall the spoilers come unto her, saith Yahweh. All right, so look, even though they're going to have their space program or whatever, whatnot, the Lord's still going to wind up destroying Babylon, all right? You know, you can read on down, read on down. I was going to read all this, but nevertheless, let me just read verse 56. Because of the spoils that come up upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken, every one of their bows is broken. So your space force ain't going to work for you, homie. For Yahweh power of recompense shall surely requite, and I will make drunk her princes and her wise men and her captains and her rulers and her mighty men. They shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, saith the King whose name is Yahweh of hosts. All right. So verse 58. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and the high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain. The folk in the fire, they shall be weary. So, hey, you know, you developing this military weaponry or whatever, whatnot, building up America, all you people going into your, building up your portfolios here in America, whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, you're going to wind up being doused in, how you say, a nuclear bath, basically. You're going to get a nuke bath, all right? Let me go from there. I'm going to try to run through this really quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I'll start at verse 1. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the ways thereof. Now, basically, what Ezra is seeing is a vision of when the Lord returns, all right? Now, if you want to basically get a visual of this, go back and watch Independence Day, the first one. This is where they get the script from, all right? And lo, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heavens. All right, so this is talking about when the Lord returns with the heavenly host of the angels and their chariots, all right? When we read about there was a war in heaven. All right. It says, and when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. So, hey, man, wherever the Lord went, hey, he was destroying everything. They was all scared, man. They seen these chariots like, damn. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they all burned that heard his voice, like the earth as it fell when it filled the fire. Again, go to Independence Day when you see that damn. We'll read it down here further off. But when these, chariots open up and them damn lasers come out and just zap your ass, Verse 5, after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So look, man, they're going to band together to try to fight against the Lord. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew up upon it, which is talking about, let me keep reading. I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So basically, this is the scene in Independence Day, the first time they see one of the first chariots, The first time they see the chariot, when you look up and you see that chariot is from in the end of the sky, your whole peripheral vision is covered with that chariot, all right? So it's like seeing a huge mountain. Sometimes when you look at a mountain, you don't see one end of the mountain all the way to the other end of the mountain all in one view, Same way when these chariots appear. Verse 7, and I would have, verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they were gathered together to subdue him, were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Yeah, because, again, imagine this, you in the Air Force or, the fighter jets, you think you got these superior weapons or whatever, whatnot. Then all of a sudden you see these big old chariots come out of nowhere, and you just like, oh, shit. They just appeared out of nowhere. We got, supersonic jets or whatever, but they just popped out of nowhere, and this thing is trailing me like crazy. Now it's in front of me or whatever, whatnot. They didn't disable my missile systems, Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. All right, verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. All right. So going back up, it says, all these things mixed together, basically talking about concentrated heat. All right. And he wound up using this to zap these military men. All right. And just like in the movie The World of Worlds, when you see these tripods come up, they be zapping people or whatever, whatnot. And some other people get zapped so quick. Some of the people get taken up into the things, So like so-called being saved. Others was actually being zapped, and they was being zapped up out of their clothes. So you see Tom Cruise running, all of a sudden people around him getting zapped, and all of a sudden this dust is just covering him on his face, just like, in 9/11, the towers fell, everything turned to straight dust and powder, Same thing there, hey. And in an instant, everything, those whole buildings was turning to dust and the smell of smoke, man. All right, but the same thing is going to be when these chariots come back and start putting in work. All right. Yeah, that was all I wanted to grab in there. But nevertheless, going back into this here space program, this Space Force, hey, man, if you in this here truth, man, this is a thing to be rejoicing about. Like, yo, they taking this here serious. We should be taking this serious. Yahushua is definitely on his way back. And these heathens about to try to fight against the Lord. But, hey, it's all in all, it's all good, man, because we didn't read the outcome already. We didn't cheat it. We didn't see who wins this here fight, man. All right, and as long as we on the winning side, we stay in this here truth, man, we ain't got nothing to worry about. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push in this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.